Um, how about now? Should hopefully be better. I don't know if this is better or worse. Not loading yet. Oh, that's weird. I am live. I am live. Let's see. Show player. Yeah, this should look a little bit better, I hope. You know. Bum, bum. Hi. How does it look now? Does it look better? Worse? Should look better. I have changed it to a different sort of sample. Hopefully it's still 720p. Yeah, it's still 720p. Okay. But I did change it to a different sampling method. I think that should make it look a little bit better. The text better? Fantastic. Okay, awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. I think I'm gonna have to like create like a separate profile if I ever want to stream games because like a lot of this stuff is probably only good for streaming code. I should probably stream games at like direct 1080p but using the fastest sampling available. That would make it a little bit easier. I was playing Apex the entire day today. Like holy shit. Like I desperately need to go touch grass. I was playing Apex like literally the entire day. I started shortly after I woke up. I woke up at like 11:45. I started playing at like 12:45. I was playing till 8, non-stop. Like I basically just stopped for lunch. Good games though, really good games. But yeah, I was playing with a vengeance today. So yeah. Okay. So how do I want to do this? I touched sand. Well, uh, from a equals a dot split, comma, dot to int, dot map, a dot to int, right? And the same thing for b. Let's just put this as components of b and do b dot split that way, right? And so it's basically going to be components of a zero. Oh yeah, so yeah, zero components of a one, and the same thing with point b. At this point, I can just call them a1 comma b1, right? So a1 b1, um, a sorry a1 a2 b1 b2, right? Right. So a1 a2 b1 b2, and we can just call this as a1 and a2. Okay, so it's more like I can just return, I guess, to b1 point b1 b2, right? Awesome. So that kind of gives us segments, all right? Ah, cool. That's how we read the data. I touched sand and then hung out with my friends the last 2 days. Fantastic, fantastic. Like it's something I would, you know, do, except no friends here. I mean, well, there is a guy. But yeah, why do I have three viewers already? What the hell? Huh. Sounds lucky. Hello, locals. So yeah, I mean, maybe it's counting the bot. I have no idea if it counts the bot or not. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. It's a little bit weird. But yeah, yeah, no, it's just like no friends in Bangalore, man. Like, there's one guy, the friend I was hanging out with last week. No, it was the week before that. It was the week where you mentioned you were at the library thing, the bookshop. that week. I mentioned, right, like on Sunday, I was actually hanging out with a friend. But yeah, no, it was just like Apex. I just wanted to hit platinum no matter what. So I managed to hit plat today. So yeah, I was playing for about 7 hours non-stop, more or less, just to get to that point. But yeah, I hit plat, so I'm happy. All right. Mm, what do we want to do now? So for each of these, we kind of need to verify that it is x1 equals x2 or y1 equals y2 only, right? So that's like the first thing. So data class point, yeah, doesn't really need a body. Let's remove the body, right? And so what we need to do is we need to filter out the segments which are only horizontal or vertical, so non-diagonal or straight segments, right? So val straight segments equals segments dot filter where, so given a pair of points, we kind of want to filter out where the um you know like essentially where x1 equals x2 or y1 equals y2, right? So we essentially want mm, point A comma point B, right? So a dot x equals b dot x. Wait, what? What's your problem? Uh, oh, okay, okay, okay. It takes a pair of points, right? Right, right, right. Man, parsing data in Python is so easy. Yeah, I mean, yeah, true. I guess like, wait, how would you do this in Python though? For me, it looks like I don't know. I feel like it wouldn't be any different from what I've done. Really, should be about the same, right? Mm, segments dot filter. Wait, what do we want? Oh yeah. So we get the pair actually, right? So pair. So it's more like segments where I'll just leave it at it as it. Fuck it. I'll just leave it as it. So it dot first dot x equals it dot second dot x, or it dot first dot y equals it dot second dot y. Right? So what's your problem? Maybe it's like a precedence thing. Oh, sorry, I forgot to, yeah, put a double equals there. Yeah, there we go. Cool, awesome. So that's the filter done, right? So that gives us straight segments. And then after that, what do we do? Um, yeah. So we kind of need now to figure out like which are the points which have more than one. All right. So for each segment in straight segments, right? Like this, Cadbin parse data points equals default take x1, y1, y2. Okay. Int num for coords in line dot split for num in. Oh, I can do this in Kotlin as well, actually. I can do this in Kotlin as well, but it's just that I find this relatively unreadable. But yeah, I mean, yeah, and you can, of course, like sort of process them as you're going through. But I just want to do this part as one thing because this kind of records now segments just records all the data from the file, and I don't have to look at the file anymore. After that point, I can just read segments, right? That's the reason why I kind of processed it like this, right? So I'm just thinking like the part two, I don't know what's coming up. So it might involve the order of the points, it might involve the other points which are not straight, etc. So I just kind of want to do this and I don't want to filter it out at the start itself. So that's the reason why I'm not doing that. So yeah. But yeah, I can sort of move that code in here itself, but I'm just doing that filtering over here because I just want to read and do nothing else in the initialization section. That's the only thing I want to do. Segments is going to be useless and I'm storing the 2D matrix directly. 2D matrix directly? Huh. Why? I feel like that's not. Hmm, wait, what? Default. What data structure is this, by the way? I've never seen this in Python before. Is this like a new thing? I've never actually seen this data structure in use. Uh, oh god, geeks for geeks. It's a dictionary of dictionaries. Okay. Yeah, no. That's because yeah, it's a no. What's the difference between okay? Takes a default value in this case int. Int returns 0. I see. Okay. Okay. Oh, so you're storing it as a matrix. No, but the problem is, you don't. They're only actually giving you the endpoints of the thing. They don't give you the midpoints. They're giving you only the endpoints. So it's like if they give you 0, comma 5, comma 9, all the other points are also there in between. So it's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, comma 9. So it's all those points which are present, right? All of them are there. So you kind of have to keep track of everything, right? So yeah. Speaking of which, I do need a dictionary, right? So what I'm keeping is yeah. So what I'll keep is I'll keep a val. Um, what am I gonna call this? Like it's just um uh I'll just call it a I'll just call it a point map for now, but it's a terrible name, but can't really think of a better name for this concept. So point map is equal to a mutable map, right? And it's gonna be a mutable map of mapping a point to an integer, right? So the integer is actually gonna tell us how many lines are passing through it, right? Yeah, so that's basically what we're gonna create, right? So for segment in straight segments, right? Um, so we basically have val start point, comma endpoint equals segment. Can I just do that? Yeah, I can just do that, right? So that way, like, because segment is a pair, so I end up with a point and a point, right? So now what we're going to do is, if um, start, actually, I'll just call that start, comma end, right? Instead of start point and end point. So it's just start, comma end, right? So both are inclusive, right? Start dot x equals end dot x, right? Uh, then in that case, this is like you have to essentially x is the same, so you have to change on y, and you have to iterate on y, and else, it's y is the same, and you have to iterate on x, right? So for y in start dot y to end dot y, right? Both inclusive. Basically, what we're going to do is we are going to write point map dot merge, right? So the key is basically going to be a new point. It's going to be new point, which is going to take start.x, right? And it's going to take y, whatever this y is, right? And the value which we're going to put is going to be initially it'll be 1, right? If nothing is there. And the remapping function, which is going to be the case if something is already there, right? And that takes in I forgot how the remapping function is supposed to work. um, it takes in remapping function, replaces the associated value with the results of combining of the given remapping function, or removes it if the result is null. Yeah, so we just need to increment basically, right? The existing value, we just need to increment it by 1, right? So specified key is not already associated. So yeah, replace it with a value. Otherwise, replaces the associated value with the results of the given remapping function. The remapping function takes what things? That's what I forgot. Mm, params remapping function should not modify the map. Um, yeah, here it is. Here it is. Right. So old value is equal to map dot get key. New value equals old value. Yeah. So remapping function dot apply old value comma value, right? Where value is essentially, so new value equals old value not double equals null. If it is null, then in that case you take value. Otherwise, you pass in both value and old value into yeah. Okay. Cool. So it's old value comma value. All right, cool. So that way it's gonna be existing comma new, existing comma underscore. It doesn't really matter actually. And we just map it to existing plus one, right? So you just increment the thing. Yeah. So yeah, so that's about it. And else, you repeat the same thing, but you actually do it for x, right? So I just copy paste the same thing, except I am going to do for x in start.x to end.x. Um, and the way I want to do it is x to start.y, right? There we go, comma one, blah, blah, blah. It's the same thing, right? So you do this, and at the end of it, you just return, yeah. Now at this point, you just want to give you back at least two lines overlap. That is where it's two or larger, right? So you just want to return the the number of points, right? So point map dot count. Um, you are given a map entry which contains, yeah, which contains a point and an integer, right? So entry to entry dot value greater than equal to 2. That's it. So return. That's the thing. We return, and I think that should be the entirety of it, right? Let's just run that. No, that wasn't. Okay. Actual 3. That's weird. That's not what I expected at all. Okay, how did I fuck it up? So initially we have straight segments, which I think should wait, what were we supposed to give back? Okay, the number of points were at least two lines overlap, right? Mm-hmm. So at this point, okay, point map dot merge point. Mm-hmm. How did I fuck this up? Wait, day 5 dot input, are there any where both the points are the same? I don't think that's going to be the case, right? Yeah, we don't really have any of those. So let me just like debug till the straight segments part, so that way like I kind of know what's happening. Uh, Debug. Straight segments, there are 6 of them. There's 0, okay. Mm-hmm. Oh, maybe there's a problem with like decreasing things like in a range. I don't know if Kotlin ranges work upwards or downwards. They might not actually. They might not. Kotlin decreasing range, does it work? Can I create a range that counts backwards down to, as in, yeah, and in, yeah, it should still work, right? In that case, and dot dot. Uh-huh. Okay, so I can't use a dot dot. Okay, so it's more like, hmm, maybe I have to create a range by hand potentially. Range two. Okay, int range, and if I do it down to, what is this? Int progression from this value down to the specified value with the step minus one. The two value should be less than or equal to this value. If the two value is greater, the return progression is empty. Ah, I see. And dot dot. Shut up. I know what I did wrong. The question is, how do you fix it? Um, because I think this range to function doesn't actually create an increasing range. That's the problem. Um, oh yeah. Oh, you can't actually write it that way. Uh, Universal range. Yeah, there we go. Mm, I think yeah, this is what we need to do. If this greater than two, then minus one, else one. Uh, we have to do it this way. Okay, flum. Yeah, I think this is a useful method. Let's put it in common utils. I won't keep it as private. I will write that way, and we will replace these as toward. Yeah, I'll replace that. Yeah, because I understood what the problem was. Okay, awesome. We didn't actually need the debugger. Kind of guessed what the problem was. It was the dot dot function. Unfortunately, it doesn't. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, solved that one. So let us finish it. Test function, solve part one, solver equals day 05, day 05 dot prod, assert equals, oh no, no, not assert equals, println solver dot get dangerous points. Let's run that. Ba, 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 ba. And we get this number 6687, which I think should be the right solution. There we go. Submit. ProgJam. All right. Okay. What's your solution? Yeah, the problem was what with my thing was that when I use the dot dot function to generate a range, it expects your first value to always be less than your second value. So if it's a downward range, you need to use a different function. That's the problem. So now I've sort of created this toward thing, which basically has it doesn't really care which direction you put it towards, right? So you can actually put upwards or downwards range. So it's actually quite nice, super neat. Mm, big brain, check mine. Split lines, x1 equals y2, min and max to get the smaller number into y1. Mm. Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I get it. I get it. I get it. Yeah, I was thinking of doing this, like to shuffle them around if shuffle the points around if, one was lesser, one was greater, but I figured like it would be easier to actually write like, to have this kind of function. This is much more useful, right? Like in the sense that I can actually generate a range in either direction with a step as plus one or minus one. Because like we do have this in progression thing. I was aware of this. I knew you could create ranges in both directions. I just like wasn't sure if you could do it you know, uh, like how do you do it? That was the only problem that I had. But yeah, yeah, this makes sense as well. This makes sense as well. So yeah, points x1 comma y plus equal to one. Oh, this is the default dict thing, right? Yeah, yeah, yeah. I've never seen this being used actually. Like this is legitimately. I mean, it's a super useful thing, of course, but I've never actually seen it being used. Do we have a default dictionary in Kotlin? Kotlin default dictionary. I don't know if it's like default map in Kotlin. Mm, mat.sign x1 minus x2. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. It's the same thing as like what we've done here. But yeah, here just computed the step instead. I think there is a math.sign thing here as well, but I mean that's kind of overkill actually, pulling in the math library for just being able to decide if one is greater than the other or not. So yeah, from close range, yeah. This will work. Default dictionary can be used with other types. Um Red, blue, blah blah blah. Wait. No, that's Python. Mm, do we have this? We probably have like an equivalent in Kotlin. Oh, there's a get or default. Put if absent is there. Okay. Put if absent. Okay, that is fine, but neither of those are helpful for this. I have merge, which I find very, very useful. I use merge for this. Oh, oh, there's this thing. Okay. I was not aware of that. Oh, this is super cool. You can actually provide dot with default. Mm-hmm. Interesting. Dot apply for e in values, put e, get value e plus one. You have a bunch of ways to do this. Interesting. 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 Okay. So yeah, part two. Kotlin is nice. Kotlin is really nice. I like a lot of the convenience stuff it gives you. Like honestly, this code will be like 3 times longer in Java. This data class itself makes shit so simple. Like I can actually specify it as x comma y instead of doing weird shit with pairs. I don't like pairs. In this case, like pair was a good thing because it's a pair of points, but I called it. What do you mean you called it? Called what? Mm, Part two. Unfortunately, considering only horizontal and vertical lines doesn't give you the full picture, you also need to consider diagonal lines. Yeah, that's what I thought they'd make you do. Beyond the limits of the hydrothermal vent mapping system, the lines in your list will only ever be horizontal, vertical, or a diagonal line at exactly 45 degrees. Because of the limits, okay. In other words, entry like 1, 1, 3, 3 covers points 1, 1, 2, 2, and 3, 3. 9, 7, 7, 9 covers points 9, 7, 8, 8, and 7, 9. Hmm. 9, 7, comma 7, 9 covers the points 9, 7, 8, 8, and 7, 9. Okay. Hmm. So exactly 45 degrees. Diagonal line at exactly 45 degrees. Okay. So we just have to consider, +1, -1 as well. Yeah, okay. No big deal. All the lines will produce the following diagram. You need to determine the number of points where at least two lines overlap. In the above example, there's still anywhere in the diagram with two or larger. Now a total of 12 points. Okay, consider all of the. Okay, okay. How many points do the two lines overlap? Okay, fine. So it's pretty much the same thing. One thing I can do is potentially, let me see. Can I move? Can I, can I Control Alt M all of that stuff and pass in the segments? So this is essentially just what we're going to count, right? The segments. Mm, right. So segments. Right. No. Shit. That's not what I wanted to call segments. Right. So return Shift F6. So this is going to be uh, what's that? Oh, no, no, no. You can't use this function in common, of course, because here we have actually, the thing we have exploited is the fact that, yeah, okay. Okay, I can actually generify this function though. I can actually generify this function. So I'm going to call this count dangerous points. Okay, whatever, right? Stupid name, but segments, okay. For segmented segments, blah, blah, blah. This segments kind of overshadows the parent level, but I don't care. Um, okay. So, yeah, at this point, what do we do? Right. So here we kind of need an else if um start.y double equals n.y. All right. And then we finally return, yeah, that. Okay, that's fine. But we also need one more else statement now, which is basically for the diagonal ones, diagonal cases, right? Yeah, right. So this doesn't look good. So I'll move that here, right? So else, um, to do, right? So what we need to do here is we have to, yeah, okay. So if I run this again, I think this should still pass, right? We don't have a problem here. All right. Test function given test input. There are how many? 12 um, dangerous points, including diagonals, right? So solver equals day5, blah, 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 blah. Okay, copy. Assert equals 12 solver dot get all dangerous points, right? So integer is going to be a to do, right? And can we move this up? Yeah, there we go. All right. So firstly, we have to filter out. How do we filter? Okay. What do we do here? What do we do here? Right. So I think certain lines will just not be available as such, right? The distinction is basically that to get from, so let's say from 9,7 to 7,9, how do we get there, right? We increase, okay, so 9 has to reduce to 7, Oh, so the difference between these two is the same as the difference between these two, right? In terms of absolute values, like you don't actually have to consider signage at all. You just have to consider absolute values, right? So we have to filter out the lines where, so it's either straight lines or strict diagonals, right? So, so yeah, Shift F6, straight segments. I was supposed to have renamed it there, right? So, val, what do I call this? What do I call this? Straight or 45 segments, right? Or straight or 45 degree or 45 segments equals segments dot filter, right? Um, so we need either this, right? So this is definitely going to be there, right? Or 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 um it dot first dot x minus it dot second dot x, right? Double equals it dot first dot y minus it dot second dot y, right? And this both needs to be in absolute values. So absolute, okay. It's quite nice that that's like a thing I can just import. Or does it, is that an import? Yeah, that's an import for that. All right. So here as well, absolute value, right? Okay. So beautiful, right? So I suppose this would be the thing, right? Where the difference between the two, 9 minus 7 is equal to 7 minus 9. So subtracting the x's and subtracting the, so that gives us the third property, right? So yeah, I think that makes sense. So fuck the convention. I actually just like them to be lined up like this. Yeah, there we go. Cool. So straight of all 45 segments and then return count dangerous points straight of 45. So at this point, it will still fail because it'll actually go into the else case, right? So if we run this, for instance, day 5 test, this will actually fail because it'll go into the to do case, is what I'm expecting, right? There we go. Not implemented error. So it actually goes here, right? So we've, yeah, so it's fine like if we've gotten this, but we also need to add the diagonal cases, right? So for now at this point, it's actually going to be, there's going to be a loop of where two things are going to change, right? How do we do that? How do we do that actually? Uh, can we can we zip to int progressions actually? I don't think we can, right? Um, else, wait, so start dot x toward end dot x, zip start dot y toward end dot y, and we have to put round brackets around them. Um, beautiful, beautiful. All right. So zip will produce an iterable which will give me a list of pairs. All right, all right. Okay, awesome, awesome. This is what we need, right? So else for x, so x comma y in that. Beautiful. Okay. Huh. Right. So pairs of points, right? So we have this. We just need to merge point map, blah blah blah. We just have to do that, paste, and we gotta take that out, and that's it. That's all we need to do. Cool. Technically, the way I'm thinking about it, wait, what does zip do if there are an unequal number of values? Has the length of the shortest collection. Okay, 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 okay. Then in that case, yeah, the idea I had wouldn't work. Do we have a variant of zip that maybe we can make our own? But yeah, this is fine. This is fine. This should work now. So if I just hit run on this, I'm pretty sure this should just work. That worked. All right, awesome. Solve part two. This is so beautiful, dude. This is actually so beautiful. Holy shit. Um, Copy that, paste that, get all dangerous points. Let's run you. Um, that's the answer. Let's paste that, and that's it. Boom. That was actually, oh my God, dude, we've been live for 35 minutes, all right? Like, okay, I recognize that I probably started the stream a little bit earlier. Wait, let's see how much total time that took us. How much total time did that take us? Video producer, 18. Okay, so that's 19 minutes plus 35 minutes, right? So that's what, 19 plus 35? That is, fuck, this piece of shit. Um, 19 plus 35, 54 minutes. Less than an hour to solve this question. Wow. Huh. Look at how beautiful this is, dude. I have this filter for diagonal lines, straight lines, diagonal lines, everything. And I just added this extra clause, and it works for everything. It works for everything. Like, I don't have to, I can run all of the tests, everything will pass. Huh. This is beautiful. This is actually great. So, look at this, dude. For x comma y, and I told you the two-word function was damn useful. Like, I wrote this. Mine didn't work. No, I'm telling you, bro. Right, writing somewhat generic solutions helps way too much. Like this two-word function, super fucking useful because now I don't have to think about which is greater, which is less. I don't have to think about anything. I can just use this function, and that's it. Now I have, it's just start.x toward end.x, start.y toward end.y, zip both of them, and for x comma y in that gives us a set of points. We copy paste the same merge function. That's it. The code works. Okay. Doesn't. Yeah. So it doesn't work. It's a. I think it's a similar thing. Like, yeah, it'll be. I mean, it's similar to what happened when my part one ran. Right. My part one didn't pass because and I wrote a test for it, by the way. So on the test input, it failed on the test input itself. It didn't. I usually always test on the test input first, and then if that works, then I solve the part two. But yeah, like it failed on the test input for that reason. Passes the check, doesn't pass. Prod. Oh, that's weird. That's weird. That is weird. What are you getting? What's the number you're getting? You have some sort of like off by one issue or something like that? Can I suppress unused? I would like to keep this. Um, Technically, I can get rid of it for now. Our inputs are different. Wait, what? Wait, really? It generates random inputs for you? I was not aware of this. I was not aware of this. Huh? That's fun. I didn't know this. I was not aware of this. Oh, so it's not really possible to cheat in this, is it? Okay, I was actually not aware of this. I was legitimately unaware. No clue. Okay, let me clean up if there's anything that needs to be cleaned up. Mm, yeah, I think we're good. Yeah, we're good. Uh, Day 05. Fuck yeah, let's go. I'm pretty sure my GitHub um sort of commit graph will look a little bit weird now because it's sort of like the longest time there's absolutely nothing, and now suddenly there's like contributions every single day. The same thing happened last year. There was nothing in the middle. There was like absolutely nothing in the middle. Lol. Anyway, hmm. Check mine now. As in, oh, okay, this one. Show me. Let's see. I'm confused. Am I missing something? Why does it just say dot dot dot? Because I have the, sorry, I have the, it looks at this, it's looking at the specific commit, day 5, main.py. I know. I didn't notice the URL. I just clicked on the link again. Mm, okay, so part 2, points equals parse data, return len count for count, in pointed values of count greater than or equal to 2. Okay, parse data, so that's diagonals equals true. Okay, so where do you have parse data? Diagonals boolean equals false. Mm-hmm. X1, X2, if X1 not equal to X2, if not diagonals. Wait, what is this? If X1 not equal to X2 and Y1 not equal to Y2, if not diagonals, continue. Oh, okay. Okay. The straight line case. The straight line case. But if it is diagonals, then in that case, get the smaller values if X1 less than or equal to X2, Y start equals Y1. Else, what are you doing here? You swap these two around. This looks complicated. What are you trying to do? Smaller values into x1. If we swap set y star to y2, otherwise y1, we'll get the y values using math. Okay. Wait. Oh, okay. So you're always getting x. So here, in this case, x1 is less. In this case, x1 is greater. So when you swap them, x1 becomes smaller. So this will always be positive. Assertion error. Okay. I'm assuming assertion error is not what happened. So that's a sanity check. X in range. Mm-hmm. Y equals y start plus. Whoa, okay. Wait a minute. I suspect if x1 is less than x2, then why do you start from y1? What if y1 is, wait, what? I'm confused. I'm confused about this section. Like, I didn't get this. I don't get this section at all. What are we doing with this? Also, can't you just do this? Like, you can just technically just zip them, right? Math is correct because test passes. No, if the math was correct, your eventual answer would also be correct. Confirm the points as well. Hmm. Problem is, like, it kind of seems, it seems really complex, like this math. Since we swap x1 and x2, the line is now x2 y2 and x1 y1. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is. Wait, but when you swap them, x1, wait, so if x1, hang on, if x1 less than x2, so y start is set to whichever point is lower on x. It maps to whichever corresponding one is lower on x is set to y start. So it's like the the left point's y value is y start. Okay, I got that. And so if x1 happens to be the left point, then x1 comma y1 wherever y is, that is y start. All right. And if x1 is the greater one, then in that case, we set y start to y2, and then we swap x1 and x2. But then, wouldn't y start be mapped to, wait, what? Wouldn't y start, the variable, now be mapped to whichever point corresponds with x2 and not x1? Mm, you could still make, yeah, I mean, okay, but you swap in that case. So the variable x1 now maps to that particular point. So it's more like x1 comma y start is one of the points, while that point is still y2. Oh, so you don't really care about y1 and y2 after that point. You don't really care about y1 and y2. It's only y equals y start plus x minus x1, where x is in range x1 comma x2 plus 1. So that's x1 to x2 both inclusive, I'm guessing. Um, and you basically do x y start plus x minus x1. So that's gonna be mm, yeah. So that's like the distance as such. But here's the question, right? Because x minus x1 will keep increasing positively. It'll go 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, up to whatever distance is between x1 and x2. So wouldn't y not necessarily be from y start? Because y start could be the higher point. Okay, I'll tell you what the problem is, right? I think I know. I think your test is passing coincidentally. I think I know what the problem is, unless I'm being stupid, right? That's also a possibility. But what I'm saying is, y start doesn't really correspond to the y point that's lower. It corresponds to the y point that has the x on the left. You know what I mean? So if x is the x-axis, right? So x1 is here and x2 is here, right? We make sure that x1 is here and x2 is here. That's what we're doing with this part, with the swaps and everything, right? We make sure that x1 is here and x2 is here. But y start always maps to whichever x is lesser. So whichever x is on the left is y start. So that y start can be higher or lower. You don't know, right? On the y-axis, you don't really know. So you can't just add an always positive value, because once you perform the swap, like once you get out of this point, x1 is always lower than x2. So the range is always positively increasing. So that way, this is always a positive number. X minus x1 is always a positive number, or zero, of course. So y start is so y is actually going to increase from whichever y, like, regardless of whether weak as tests, exactly. That's what I'm telling you. That's what I'm telling you. But yeah, no, but it's just that you've overcomplicated your logic. I feel like it's possible for you to do a very, very similar thing as to what I've done in Python, because you do have zip in Python as well. I feel like it's very much possible for you to do the same thing, right? And just generate pairs of points and then check each point. And, not check each point, just do the plus equal to one thing, right? But that's the problem. You've overcomplicated it with this logic. This logic is like way too complex. That's the problem. But yeah. Because I was like, why are you checking? The first thing that rang an alarm bell through my head was, which is why I spent such a long time, right? Not really understanding what was going on. Because I was like, why are you comparing x's and then setting y? Like y has no relation with x at all, right? So I was just confused as to what you were attempting to do here. I get what you're attempting to do right now, but yeah, that wasn't the way to go about it. Because yeah, so you have some points which, yeah, it's kind of amazing. It's kind of amazing though that with this algorithm, this test passes. Like that's still pretty fucking amazing. That somehow you've still gotten exactly 12 points. It's just the wrong 12 points, but you've gotten exactly 12 points that um succeed. It may even be the right 12 points, because it's possible that none of them actually trigger. It's possible that it may be the right 12 points because none of them may actually trigger the problematic case, where, like I said, the problematic case will be where the x point, which is on the left side, has the y point, which is higher up and not lower. It's higher up, right? So either that, or like it somehow coincides perfectly and you've gotten 12. So that's possible. It's still possible. So yeah. But yeah, now you know where the error is. So good luck with that. I think, yeah, zip and range, yeah, easy stuff. That's like easy clap. You can just do that. I really like the fact that I can write this as like an extension method and like as in just like an operator in the middle. So it just coincided points were wrong. Yeah, okay. Oh wow. Yeah. That's crazy. Any line with -1 slope, exactly, exactly, exactly. That's the proper, concise math way to put it, but I completely forgot the terms. Don't expect me to remember all of that at like fucking midnight. But yeah, yeah, that's exactly what's happened though. But it's amazing that it coincided and the points were wrong. That just blows my mind. Holy fuck. Like, did they did they engineer the test case like this? I don't think so, right? I think it's just a coincidence, like a complete coincidence that the test case was wrong. Holy fuck, that would be amazing. That would be amazing. Okay, well, glad to have you around. This was fun. This was fun. Cool. Way easier question than I expected, to be honest. I knew that the question for Sunday will be easier than the one on Saturday, but I didn't expect it to be this simple. It was actually weirdly straightforward. Like, yeah, I don't know. Okay, awesome. Or maybe it's just because I'm using Kotlin. Honestly, if I was using Java, I would be crying with this question. I would actually have my head in my hands right now. Yeah. These kinds of things like Java is like weak as fuck to solve any of this stuff. Which is why I like Kotlin. I feel like it's kind of like you get all of the other positives of using Java as well because technically you can just write more or less very Java-like code, but also you get all these nice convenience features, and it's really cool. The extension functions and all that stuff. So just to make the code a lot shorter, a lot simpler. Cool. Anyway, that's about it from me for today. Catch you on the next one tomorrow. I think tomorrow evening again. I don't think I'll be doing a morning stream. I do have some other stuff to do tomorrow, like get a shave. Wanted to do that today morning. Forgot. Or yeah, well, yeah, less about forgot, more like was playing Apex the entire day, so did nothing else. Anyway, cool. So I'll catch you tomorrow. Thanks for watching, and bye bye.